if we're going to solve triangle TUV, we kind of go through our checklist and first ask, is this a right triangle? Obviously it's not, at least obvious from the picture, but of course maybe the picture's wrong. However, there's nothing in the problem that tells us that it definitely is a right triangle. So we can't just use SOHCAHTOA. So now we ask ourselves if we have a pair, if we have an angle and its opposite side. If we do, we could use law of sines. Of course, I don't know any of the angles, so we don't have a pair. That leaves us with law of cosines as being our only method for starting this problem off. So I'm going to have to pick which angle measure I want to find first. I usually start with the smallest one. So because V is the smallest side, I'm going to use side V and angle V. Law of cosine says side V squared is going to be the sum of the squares of the other two, so a lot like the Pythagorean theorem, except we have to subtract 2 times the product of those two sides times the cosine of angle V. Of course, now we're going to head over to the calculator and calculate all this stuff. 24 squared is 576. And when it comes to everything that's on the right, a real common mistake is to go and calculate all of this and say that that is the coefficient of cosine of V. However, it's not. Right? Only a part of that is. What we have here are 3 separate terms. And it's only 2 times 32 times 55 that's going to end up being the coefficient for V. That means that we're going to want to take 32 squared and 55 squared, add those two together separately, and come up with 4,049. And then subtract off the product of 2 times 32 times 55. Doing that, we get the 3520 cosine of V. You have to take them in smaller pieces like this. We're not going to be able to just type the entire equation into our calculator and be able to solve it. Now, take your time, do it right. We want to subtract the 4049 first. That will leave us with negative 3473 is equal to negative 3520 cosine of V, and divide by the negative 3520. Then we'll have that the cosine of V will equal 0.986. Of course, to get rid of that cosine, we're going to want to take the inverse cosine of both sides, getting the cosines to cancel, and V will equal 9.373. So angle V is 9.373 degrees. Now that I have angle V along with side V, we do have that pair that we need, so we can move on to using the law of sines, which is going to say the sine of V divided by the side V will be the same as the sine of, I'm going to go with the next smallest angle, angle T, over side T, 32. To solve this, we'll get rid of this denominator by multiplying both sides by 32. Then we'll have that the sine of T will equal 0.217. Of course, to get rid of the sine, we're going to want to take sine inverse of both sides. And T, after these cancel, will equal 12.542. 12.542 degrees. The last step, of course, is to come up with angle U. So start with 180. Subtract off the 9 degree angle and the 12 degree angle, and we'll get angle U to equal 158.084 degrees. So 158.084 degrees. You can quickly check. The smallest angle is related to the smallest side. The biggest angle is related to the biggest side. And so it looks good to me.